To watch these important lessons, subscribe to DP Education's YouTube channel right now. Click on the bell icon to stay updated on the latest lessons. Sri Lanka's largest free online school, DP Education.
Right. So, my dear children, in the earlier chapter, we discussed several things related to several MCQ questions related to the lesson part. Now, within this chapter, we'll be focusing about the essay type questions, right? So, we'll be discussing about several essay type questions here. Mainly, we are going to write down the answers, relevant answers for the each question given in here. Sometimes we might find different other types of questions, but mainly we are focusing here to write down the relevant answer. So here, my dear children, you are asked with several questions under the second main question. So we have to write down the correct answers for the each given question. Number one given, define what are called as plant growth substances. What are plant growth substances? So plant growth substances are chemical substances, special chemical substances that can influence the growth of a plant, right? That can affect the growth of a plant. Chemical substances that can affect the growth of a plant is considered as or is called as a plant growth substance. Okay, it's pretty much simple, my dear children. The definition for plant growth substance is it is a chemical substance. Okay, chemical substances that can affect the growth of a certain plant, right? So we'll mention the answer. Chemical substances chemical substances that can affect the growth of a plant, right? So chemical substances that can affect the growth of a plant. So affect means in here it can promote the growth and as well as it can inhibit the growth. Both the things are okay. So that's why I have mentioned as affect. So chemical substances that can affect the growth can be considered as, right? These chemical substances can be considered as what? Growth substances. Okay, right? Growth substances. Next one, write two actions of auxins. So, two actions of auxins. Auxins are the ones. So, I told you about when we are discussing about the auxins, I told you auxins hate sunlight or auxins hate light. So, auxins are the substances that are going to promote or that are going to collect within the darker areas, and they are going to collect within the darker areas, and on that darker area, my dear children, the cell elongation is going to occur rather than the other areas. Okay, so mainly if you take auxins, it helps in cell elongation. Okay, then also it helps to curve the plant towards the light. Okay, upon that uneven distribution of auxins, the curving of the plant towards the light is going to occur. So the curving of plant towards the light and the cell elongation are the two main actions that we can observe, right? Are the two main actions given out by the auxins. The main action of auxin is the cell elongation. As a result of that, what will happen? The curving of the plant top or the tip of the plant towards the light is going to occur. first and foremost, or the main process is the cell elongation. Due to uneven cell elongation, what will happen? It will curve towards the light. So we can write down the two answers, two actions. Number one, cell elongation. Number two, after the cell elongation, right? Number two, curving. So cell elongation, and the other one is curving of the plant shoot towards the light. Curving of the plant shoot towards the light. This thing is also going to occur because of the action of auxins. Okay. Then let's head on to the next question, my dear children. So question number 3. What are the 3 main types of growth substances found in plants? 3 main types of growth substances. So the 3 main types of growth substances are auxins, gibberellins and cytokinin, right? Auxins, gibberellins and cytokinins. Right, so the 3 main growth substances contained in the plant are, so we'll write down the answers, one each. Number 1, auxin. Number 2, number 1 is auxin, then the second one, number 2, gibberellin. Then the third one, number 3, cytokinin, right? Cytokinin. So auxin, gibberellin and cytokinin are the 3 main types of growth substances that we can find within the plants. Then the next question, write 2 actions of gibberellins. 2 actions of gibberellins. The main action of gibberellins is to produce or to elongate the stem, right? So stem elongation is the main function given out by the gibberellins. Other than that, it helps for the growth of fruits. Okay, for the growth of fruits and for the growth of the stem, or for the stem elongation, gibberellins are important, my dear children. So we'll write down the answers. Number 1, growth of fruits. Growth of fruits. Then the next one, stem elongation. Stem elongation. So for the growth of fruits and for the stem elongation, gibberellins are important. Okay, gibberellins are important. These are the 2 actions of gibberellins. Right. Then the next question. Other than growth substances, write 3 other factors that affects the growth of a plant. So other than the growth substances, so we can't write down the growth substances, my dear children. Other than growth substances, what are the other substances, so other factors that's going to affect for the growth of a plant? So factors like water, air and sunlight affects for the growth of a plant. Okay, So they are mentioned in write down 3, and also there are some other factors as well, like minerals, right? Then soil, right? So like that way there are several other substances or factors that affects the growth of the plant. However, you are being asked to write down only 3, no? So we'll mention 3 responses. Number 1, sunlight. Sunlight. Number 2, water. Water is very important, right? Water is very important for the biological processes that's going to occur within the plants also. Water is very important. So these biological processes are very important for the growth, right? Then the next one, number 3, air. Within brackets, if you want, you can include carbon dioxide, oxygen. Oxygen gas is very important for the growth, okay, because by oxygen gas, right, the plant is going to do the respiration process. Respiration process is the process that helps to produce the energy needed for the organisms. So oxygen is very important for the growth of plant. Next one, write 3 actions of cytokinins. 3 actions of cytokinins. Cytokinins mainly help for the cell division process. So it delays the plant aging. Delays the aging process of plant. Okay. Then it's going to help. It's going to accelerate the rooting process or the rootings. It accelerates the rooting process, and it accelerates the growth of fruits, then leaves, and also other organs like branches, etc. Okay. So these are the main actions that we can observe within all the 3 actions regarding to cytokinins. Okay. So we'll write down the answers, my dear children. Number 1, it mainly helps to, right, cell division. So we can write controls cell division. Next one, number 2, increase the growth rate of fruits, leaves, leaves, etc. Then delays the aging. You can write delays aging, right? Right. So 3 actions of cytokinins. Controls cell division. It controls the cell division, my dear children. Actually, it's going to accelerate the cell division process. Then number 1, it's going to accelerate the cell division process, or it controls the cell division. Number 2, increase the growth rate of fruits, leaves, etc. All the organs are being, the growth of these organs are being accelerated, like fruits, leaves, roots, those things. So these organs, the growth rate of these organs are getting accelerated because of the action of cytokinins. Then, my dear children, number 3, third one is, it delays the aging of the plant. It delays the aging of the plant. Okay, so it delays aging of the plant. Cytokinins also helps to delay the aging process. So these are the actions of cytokinins. Right, now let's head on to observe the next question. Write 2 chemicals that produced naturally, right? Write 2 chemicals that produce naturally in plants. So, number 1, ethene. Number 2, IAA, indole acetic acid, IAA. So, other than that, my dear children, we can observe abscisic acid, okay, abscisic acid, auxins, gibberellins, cytokinins, those things are also correct. Chemical substances, no. So they are asking about chemicals that produced naturally in plants. You know that ethene is going to produce naturally in plants, especially in the ripening process of the fruits, right? Then IAA, indole acetic acid, is also a naturally occurring growth substances in plants. Okay, indole acetic acid. Next one. Write an instance where growth is inhibited by natural growth substances in plants. Growth is inhibited by natural growth substances. So you know that auxins inhibit the growth of lateral buds. So growth of the lateral buds is getting inhibited by the action of auxins. We discussed that thing, my dear children. That's how we maintain a bushy plant, right? So auxins inhibit the growth of lateral buds. This is an example where the growth is getting inhibited because of the action of naturally occurring growth substances. Okay, right then. So let's head on to the next question. Write 2 uses of given chemicals to the plant. 2 uses of the given chemicals to the plant. Number 1, abscisic acid. Closing stomata when needed. Then decrease right. So I have written down the 2 answers, my dear children. Let's see. Number 1, closing stomata when needed. Closing stomata when needed. Abscisic acid collected within the plant leaf can close the stomata when needed. Actually, when the water level of the plant is going to reduce, or when there is lack of water, when there is shortage of water, abscisic acid can close down the stomata, my dear children. So it helps to closing, it helps in closing the stomata when needed. Needed in the sense in here during the shortage of water. Okay. Then upon closing down of the stomata during the shortage time period of the water, what will happen, my dear children? It will decrease the rate of transpiration. So decreases the rate of transpiration. Decreases the rate of transpiration. So abscisic acid is going to affect on the closing down of stomata and as well as decrease in the rate of transpiration. Okay, decrease in the rate of transpiration. Right then. So these are the uses of abscisic acid. Then the next one given, ethene. Ethene. So I'll write down the two responses, then let's see the explanation. Number one, to ripe fruits. Ethene. So we know that, my dear children, ethene is a substance, right, that can ripe fruits, or it helps to ripe fruits. The ripening process of the fruits are getting accelerated because of the action of ethene. So it helps to ripe fruits. Okay, it helps to ripe fruits. Then the second one is, ethene is a chemical substance that can replenish or that can reproduce new cell layers. So it helps to heal wounds in a plant. Okay, when a plant stem is going to take a certain kind of a cut or else a bruise, I mean, if there is a wound, then, my dear children, the wound is getting healed because of the action of ethene, the chemical ethene. So ethene is helpful for the ripening of fruits, or to ripe fruits, and as well as to heal wounds in a plant. Okay, right. Next one, write the correct answers. Then you are being asked to write down, write the type of chemical, growth substance used in given figures. You have to write down the chemical or the growth substance used in given figures. Okay, right. The first one given in here. How can we say that it is gibberellins? Because by looking at, right, by looking at the figure here, it's very, right, somewhat it is, you can see that it is the black and white picture which I have been provided. Okay, it's the same copy but the black and white one. As you can see here, there are several plants, cabbage plants, but if you take the height of these cabbage plants, the height is more than the ones in here. Okay, height is more than the ones in here. Here, my dear children, you can observe less height in the cabbage plant, but in here more height. So definitely the stem has been elongated. So the stem elongation is mainly occurs because of the action of gibberellins, right? Because of the action of gibberellins, right? So gibberellins is the chemical substance or the growth substance which is being used in here in this option. Number 2, in the second figure you can observe, right? In the second figure you can observe the rooting process. A small plant, but the roots are being grown at a higher to have a higher growth rate. Okay, roots have a greater growth rate. That's why they have been grown to a certain greater length or to a higher length. So you can see within the figure, the growth of the roots are being promoted. So the growth of roots are getting promoted or accelerated because of the action of cytokinin, right? So here second one, cytokinin, right? Right, number 3 is very simple, my dear children. Number 3, auxins, right? You can observe the curving auxin. So these three are the main chemical growth substances that we can observe within a plant. Gibberellins, small bit of a mistake in here, should be I. So gibberellins, it helps to increase the height of the plant stem. Cytokinin accelerate the growth of the roots and also the other organs. Then auxins, it helps in elongation of cell elongation, right? And it helps to curve the plant towards the light, auxins. So these are the 3 main chemical substances that we have identified within the plant. Right, the fourth figure. Within the fourth figure, my dear children, you can see a scar over here, right? And this scar, I mean like the stem of the plant is been, it's been scratched down. And that scar is clearly visible to us. So, even though it is been scratched down, right, you can observe the new tissues are there are new tissues within the plant, or there are new tissues within the branch, and these new tissues are replenishing all over the wounded area, and new tissue layers are going to appear. As you can see here, there are new tissue layers, right? There are new tissue layers within the stem of this, or within the branch of the plant. There are new tissue layers. So these new tissue layers are generated because of the action of ethene, right? So ethene. Finally, over there also you can observe the ripening process of a banana fruit. So this ripening process of banana fruits, not only the banana fruits, but also other different fruits, all the ripening processes of the fruits is going to occur mainly because of the action of ethene. Ethene is the chemical which is responsible in wound healing and as well as ripening of fruits. Okay. for the ripening of fruits and for the wound healing. For both the processes, ethene is helpful. Okay, right then. So let's once again observe what are the chemical substances that we have identified over here. Number one, gibberellins, stem elongation. Cytokinin, increase the growth rate of roots and other organs. Auxins, cell elongation and curving of the plant shoot towards the light. Ethene, replenishing or reproduction of new plant tissues to recover wounds. Ethene, once again, all helps in ripening of fruits. Okay, so these are the chemical substances that we have identified within the lesson part, my dear children, and these figures reflects about these actions of the chemicals. Right, then the next one. So put tick or cross for the given statements. So you have to put a tick or else a cross for the given statements. Number 1, 2,4 DPA used as broadleaf weedicide. 2,4 DPA. 2,4 DPA is used as a broadleaf weedicide. That is correct, right, my dear children? It's because that 2,4 DPA and 2,4,5 TPA. DPA means dichlorophenoxyacetic acid. Dichlorophenoxyacetic acid. TPA means trichlorophenoxyacetic acid. Both the things are used as broadleaf weedicide. That is correct. Next one. Artificial growth substances are widely used in horticulture. Once again correct, no, straightforward theories. Right? Straightforward theories. Artificial growth substances are used in horticulture. That is correct. We discussed that thing, right? Mainly we use these artificial growth substances during the horticulture, right? Okay, that's a practice followed out by the human. So in order to do or in order to maintain that process, my dear children, special conditions should be there. So to obtain those special conditions, we apply artificial growth substances. Number 3. Ethene is a chemical substance needed for ripening of fruits. Once again correct, right? Ethene is very important for the ripening of fruits. In the earlier case also, in the earlier question also, under that banana ripening, we discussed that during the ripening of fruits, ethene is needed, and also to reproduce new cells or new cell layers, ethene is also helpful. So it would help to reproduce cells within a wound structure or within a cut or else a wound. If there is a wound or else a cut, it would replenish or it would reproduce new cell layers and it will recover the wound well. Okay, ethene is helpful in recovering the wound then. Next one. Ethene cannot help to recover wounds in plants. And my dear children, now, like seconds ago, I told you about this thing. Okay, I told you that to recover from wounds, ethene is important because ethene is the one which is going to reproduce new cells. So it is incorrect. Because ethene will help, or ethene is the one which is helping to recreate new cells. Next one. Gibberellins accelerate the cell division. Incorrect. Gibberellins never accelerate the cell division. Cell division is accelerated by cytokinins. Right? Cytokinins are the ones which are going to accelerate the cell division. Gibberellins is going to promote the elongation in the stem and also for the growth of fruits. Okay. Cytokinins promotes the elongation of the stem. Incorrect. These two have been interchanged in here. Right? If cytokinins can move to up and gibberellins can come to down, then these two sentences are correct. Because cytokinins will accelerate the cell division, gibberellins will promote the elongation of the stem. Okay. Next one. Auxins do not affect the growth of lateral buds. Incorrect. It affects the growth of lateral buds. Actually, it's going to inhibit the growth of lateral buds. We discussed several times. Auxins are going to inhibit the growth of lateral buds. So it is incorrect. It's going to affect for the growth of lateral buds as well. Auxins delay the plant aging process. Once again incorrect. The plant aging process is affected because of the cell division, right? It is affected because of the cell division. So if the cell division is getting accelerated, then the aging process is getting delayed. Cytokinins are the ones which accelerates the cell division. So my dear children, cytokinins are the growth substances that helps to reduce the aging process of the plant, not auxins. Next one. When matured, the amount of growth substances reduces. When matured, the amount of growth substances reduces. It is correct. When something is going to mature, right? When matured, it can be a fruit, it can be a leaf, no matter what. If it is getting matured, then the amount of growth substances is getting reduced. That is correct. Next one. Indole acetic acid is used to get mango fruits in the off season. Incorrect. Cytocells are the ones which used for that process. Cytocells are the ones that can use to get mango fruits in the off season, not indole acetic acid. Indole acetic acid can be used to get fruits very quickly, and also, right, and also it helps in the rooting process of the stem cuttings. Indole acetic acid and also indole butyric acid, both. Next one. When ripening, glucose stored in plants converted to sugar. When ripening, glucose stored in plants converted to sugar. Absolutely incorrect. It's not glucose. It should be starch. Starch is the one which is getting converted into sucrose or to sugar, not glucose. Glucose is the main product created during the photosynthesis. So it's getting converted to starch. So that starch is once again converted to sucrose or to a sugar solution, right, during the process of ripening. So upon ripening, my dear children, it's not glucose who is getting converted into sugar, but starch is the one which is getting converted into sugar, starch. Next one. If a plant is damaged, new tissues are not formed. Once again incorrect. We discussed several times that ethene is going to help to create these new cells. So, if a plant is damaged, new tissues are getting formed because of the action of ethene, right? Because of the action of ethene chemical, new plant tissues are getting generated. So, it is incorrect. So, these are the answers for the question, my dear children, right? This is the third main question, right? So, under the third main questions, there are several incorrect ones. Actually, there are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 incorrect ones, but only 4 correct answers. So, these are correct, my dear children. 2,4 DPA used as a broadleaf, we decide it is correct. Artificial growth substances are widely used in horticulture, that is correct. Ethene is a chemical substance needed for ripening of fruits, that is also correct. Then ethene cannot help to recover wounds in plants, that is incorrect. It can help. Gibberellins accelerate the cell division, incorrect, my dear children. It accelerates the stem elongation. Then cytokinin promote the elongation of the stem. Once again, it is incorrect. Auxins do not affect the growth of the lateral buds. Incorrect. It inhibits the growth of lateral buds, so it affects the growth. Auxins delay the plant aging process. Incorrect. Cytokinins are the ones which helps to delay the aging process. When matured, amount of growth substances reduces. That is correct. No problem. Indole acetic acid is used to get mango fruits in the off season. Incorrect. Cytocells are the ones which we use to get mango fruits in the off season. Then when ripening, glucose stored in the plants converted to sugar. Incorrect. It's not glucose. It should be starch. If a plant is damaged, new tissues are not formed. Once again incorrect, right? Because new tissues are getting formed over there. So these are the answers for the third question then. So let's head on to observe the fourth question. Write the long form of given chemicals. NAA, naphthalene acetic acid, right? Naphthalene acetic acid. So we'll write down the answer. Naphthalene acetic acid. Naphthalene acetic acid. NAA. Naphthalene acetic acid. Number 2, IAA. It's very simple. Indole acetic acid. Indole acetic acid. Indole acetic acid. Number 3, DPA. DPA. Dichlorophenoxyacetic acid. This is trichlorophenoxyacetic acid. So, dichlorophenoxyacetic acid. Dichlorophenoxyacetic acid. Next one, TPA. This is trichlorophenoxyacetic acid. Dichlorophenoxyacetic acid, DPA, trichlorophenoxyacetic acid, TPA. Okay. So here once again, DPA reflects to dichlorophenoxyacetic acid, then TPA reflects to trichlorophenoxyacetic acid. So it's better to leave a space in here. So let's leave a space and write down. Like this. We'll leave a small bit of a space and write down dichlorophenoxyacetic acid. Here trichlorophenoxyacetic acid. DPA and TPA. It's better to keep a space between trichloro thing. Okay. So DPA, dichlorophenoxyacetic acid, TPA, trichlorophenoxyacetic acid. Then IBA, simple my dear children, indole butyric acid. Indole butyric acid, IBA. So it's very important to know the long form of these chemicals, my dear children, and also the short form, because you'll be given with questions including the long form and also with the short form as well. So it's very important to know both the terms. Okay, long form, then here naphthalene acetic acid, NAA, IAA indole acetic acid, DPA dichlorophenoxyacetic acid, TPA trichlorophenoxyacetic acid, then IBA indole butyric acid. Okay, indole butyric acid. So these are the long form of the chemical substances, right? Artificial chemical growth substances that can be used for a plant. Okay, so once again, my dear children, naphthalene acetic acid, NAA, IAA indole acetic acid, DPA dichlorophenoxyacetic acid, TPA trichlorophenoxyacetic acid, right? Dichlorophenoxyacetic acid, trichlorophenoxyacetic acid. Then finally indole butyric acid, IBA. Here there's this one, naphthalene, right? Naphthalene acetic acid, naphthalene, TH. Okay, so naphthalene acetic acid, right? Then so these are the things, or these are the chemical substances that we use, right, as the artificial growth substances, my dear children. However, you know that this IAA indole acetic acid, that is also getting generated within the plant naturally as well, right? Then so let's head on to observe the next question. Complete the table given, write a use each. So you have to write down one use each. DPA, TPA, very simple, for both DPA and TPA, as a broad leaf weedicide, as a broad leaf weedicide, right? So we use DPA and TPA as a broad leaf weedicide. Okay, right? Then the next one, indole acetic acid and indole butyric acid. Once again, both of these chemicals are being used to get the rootings of stem cuttings, right? So can write to get the rootings rooting of stem cuttings. To get rooting of stem cuttings. Next one, naphthalene acetic acid. Naphthalene acetic acid is used to get flowers of the pineapple plant during off season. So to get flowers in pineapple, to get flowers in pineapple during off season. During off season. So during off season we can get, right, during off season we can get flowers in pineapple, my dear children, right? So to get flowers in pineapple during off season, this is the use of naphthalene acetic acid. Then the next one, the final one, cytosol. Cytocells are being used, so I'll put here like this, it's good now. So here cytosol, the final one, cytocells are being used to get mangoes. To get mangoes in off season. To get mangoes in off season, we can use the final one, cytocells. So my dear children, DPA and TPA can be used as a broadleaf weedicide for paddy fields. Then indole acetic acid and indole butyric acid to get rooting of stem cuttings. To get rooting of the stem cuttings, my dear children, we can use indole acetic acid and indole butyric acid. Then naphthalene acetic acid, right, naphthalene acetic acid to get flowers in pineapple during the off season. Then final one, cytosol, to get mangoes in off season. So these are the artificial chemical substances, my dear children, and they are used. So you have been asked to write down only one use each. So these are the uses of the artificial growth substances. Right then, so with that question, we have discussed all the essay type questions regarding the lesson part. So I hope that you got a good knowledge about the plant growth substances, my dear children. So it's important to follow up with these exercises again and again in order to renew your knowledge. So with that part, my dear children, with this question, I'm going to finish up the chapter, and now we have discussed all the questions regarding the unit 7 and all the theoretical parts regarding the unit 7 as well. So I'll be hoping to meet you with a new lesson as soon as possible. So I'll meet you with the new lesson. Till then, it's time to say goodbye.
To watch these important lessons, subscribe to DP Education's YouTube channel right now. Click on the bell icon to stay updated on the latest lessons. Sri Lanka's largest free online school, DP Education.